Dresses hanging in the wind tonight, silent witnesses to stories untold. Sisters, mothers, daughters out of sight, their voices echo, brave and bold. Every face upon the missing wall has a name, a dream, a beating heart. We won't let their memory fall. Each one precious from the start. They matter, every single soul. They matter, we won't let go. Stand up, speak out, don't turn away. Search for justice every day. They matter, and we'll never stop the fight. They matter, every single soul. They matter, we won't let go. Stand up, speak out, don't turn away. Search for justice every day. They matter, and we'll never stop the fight. Indigenous people, strong and free, women, men, and children too. Your lives have meaning, you belong. We hear your voices call. All lives matter in this sacred space. Every soul within our human race. True seekers, junkies, unite. We are family, we'll make this right. We will stand up and join the fight. Fight on! They matter, every single soul. They matter, we won't let go. Stand together, such as one, until every case is done. They matter, and love will light the way. Red dresses dancing in the light, reminding us to never give up the fight. We all matter, we all matter, we all matter. One human family, standing together. Red dresses dancing in the light, reminding us to never give up the fight. We all matter, we all matter, we all matter. One human family, standing together.
Live on the air, it's Trial Junkies United with your host, Z.
For coming. Oh, here we go with the bing bong. No fighting, girls. Okay, thank you guys for coming. I think we're going to have a very interesting, good stream tonight. I want to tell you that I do have a special coming up. Doc and I were able to interview a very interesting professor from Australia about the human trafficking situation. So I'm probably going to have to put that out in two parts. We talked for almost an hour and 45 minutes, and I think we could have talked longer, but he had an appointment. So I think it's going to be really cool when we get it put together. We'll probably just do it as a recorded video, though, because I can't figure out how to do it otherwise. But thank you all for showing up tonight, and let's get started, because I want to give my greetings to all you truth seekers and justice warriors. I'm Z, your storyteller in the wilderness of injustice. My ride or die Doc is riding shotgun. You ready, Doc?
I am always ready.
Yes, you are. So we're going to navigate the darkness where the predators hunt and the system fails. And we're ready to shine a light on the forgotten stories that society would rather leave buried. So buckle up, The path ahead grows bumpy as we lead you through another section of this nightmare they call the justice system. And tonight we're headed over to oops, I forgot to hit the one button.
Yeah, I already
Okay.
did for you.
Oh, thanks, Doc. He's always got my back. Thank you, baby. But we're heading up to Canada and talking about some of one of our cases out of the First Nations, and her name was Marie Lynn Lasas. And I think that's how you pronounce it. And I apologize to her family if I got that wrong. Any mistakes here are mine. But she was sadly did not get the justice that she deserved. And this is a cold case. So we've had about 3 cold cases in a row here. But tonight we're telling the story of Marie Lynn, a young woman who deserves so much more than what she got from this world, and certainly more than what she got from the justice system. Hey, Kerrville, good to see you. Marie was born on June 5th of 1987. She was a member of the Cowessess First Nation. Marie was the eldest of 4 children. She had 3 sisters, Leslie, Suzanne, and Naomi. And from everything we know about Marie, being the oldest wasn't just the birth order. It was who she was to her core. Her friends even called her the Kokum. I think I'm saying that right. That's a Cree word, and it means grandmother. And it's an essential term in Cree culture and is symbolizing the matriarchs and the wisdom they pass down through generations. And the cultural significance in this is that in Cree, it's a crucial role the grandparents hold, providing spiritual, emotional, and physical guidance. So think about that, you guys. She's a 19-year-old girl whom people called her grandmother, not as a joke, but out of respect, because despite her young age, Marie was protective. She nurtured people, and she was wise, beyond her years. She had a difficult childhood. Marie's life, it wasn't easy. She and her sisters first lived in Regina with their mother before they ended up in the foster care system at a very young age. And the sisters were often, oh, I just saw sleuthy sweethearts here. Yay. And the sisters were often separated in different foster homes. Hey, Pammy, come on in, darling. And can you imagine how painful that would have been for those 4 girls to have been separated and put in foster homes? You know, they would eventually reunite with their grandfather in Saskatoon. And hey, LaDonna's here with us. Everybody say hi to LaDonna.
Hi, LaDonna.
Leslie was a year younger than Marie, and so she was the closest to her. And Suzanne remembered they were inseparable, side by side, like best friends. Marie never forgot her younger sisters. Suzanne still remembers the day that Marie noted her doing some cheerleading stunts in front of the TV and surprised her with a little blue cheerleader outfit. That smile, that gesture, that was Marie, always paying attention, always caring about her family. Now, at 13, Marie was referred to My Home. This was a safe housing project for teens at risk of homelessness. She spent 4 years there. And here's what's remarkable, you guys, is unlike many children in foster care, Marie only ran away once. And why did she run? Because she had to go look for one of her younger sisters who had run away from a different foster home. So even as a teenager, she was protecting her family. Hey, Pammy. So Sue Milky, I'm butchering that poor woman's name. She was an outreach worker who met Marie when she was 14, and she simply said, "She was such a good kid." And by the age of 19, Marie was a mother to 2 beautiful young daughters. Brooklyn and Della. Cute names. Hey, Ken, good to see ya. She was living with her Auntie Carol and attending Bedford Road Collegiate, working to finish high school. She had dreams, real dreams. Marie wanted to become a youth care worker. She had the experience on the other side of it. So she tried to give her children a good home, and she had great plans for the future. She was already living that dream in many ways. Marie became a mentor at the outreach program she attended for 3 years before her death. So at 16, you guys, she helped plan the annual Day of Mourning for victims of the sex industry. Hey, film freak, thanks for joining us. This young woman, a teenager, was an activist. She was working to help those who were vulnerable. Now, on September 21st of 2006, that's the night that Marie Lynn disappeared. Marie was at a friend's house on the 600 block of South Avenue H. Around 10:30 or 11 p.m., she left to walk home to the 200th block of West 28th Street. Now, she stopped very briefly at her uncle's house because he lived nearby to pick up a cigarette. And then she continued on foot. She was never seen again alive. Now, let me paint the picture of what Marie looked like. She was wearing gray or black jeans, a black jacket, and a white headband. She was 5'3" and weighed about 110 pounds with long auburn hair that was red and black, which I agree with that color.
Huh. I could tell.
One of my favorites. And brown eyes. She had a tattoo of a star on her upper right arm. So here's where the failures are going to start piling up for us, you guys. Marie's family reported her missing because she failed to maintain regular contact. That wasn't who Marie was. They knew something was wrong. Marie had missed picking up a government check and hadn't made her regular calls to her children. This wasn't who she was. Now remember, that was on September. Let me go back up here and get that date again so I have it correct. September 21st that she disappeared. So Marie's family reported her missing right away, but it wasn't until mid-October, nearly a month after she vanished, that the Saskatoon police put out their first public call for information. I mean, come on. That's almost a month, people. A month. Let that sink in.
Yep.
You know, we all know that there's a show out there and it's called 48 Hours. Hello. I think that's going to be something we need to buy all the police up there a subscription to, because those first 48 hours, they matter.
Well, that's a suggestion for them, right? I mean,
I don't know, you know, because that's the first 48 are the most important.
yes, they are.
So then there was 9 months of silence. 9 months where Marie's family are wondering, they're out searching, they're hoping, they're fearing. The cops aren't talking to them. Marie's father died. He never learned what happened to his daughter. He died not knowing where she was, if she was alive or dead. And that's a tragedy on top of another tragedy. Hey, Julie's Guitar, thanks for joining us. Then on June 30th of 2007, human remains were discovered behind an abandoned house on the 200 block of 33rd Street West on the west side of Saskatoon. The body was hidden under a pile of wooden pallets in a backyard used for storage of a nearby business. Now that's about 3 kilometers or almost 2 miles from where Marie was last seen. Not far, but it was far enough. Now, like I said, they found her body in June on the 30th. They didn't even identify her until July 19th for the remains to be identified through dental records as Marie Lynn Lasas, I think. Okay. So the identification was made with the assistance from officials at the University of Saskatchewan College of Dentistry and Forensic Identification Lab. But come on, you guys, to read dental records took them from the 30th of June to the 19th of July. The police believe Marie was killed at the location she was found. But here's what's really infuriating is that the cause of death has been withheld to preserve the case's integrity. This is 2006 that Marie died. Her family still does not know the cause of death. I think by now that's a little, come on, they need to give the family something.
Well, it becomes obvious that there's three little words that come into play here. Not a priority.
Exactly. You're right. Hey, Katrina, glad you're here, darling. Yeah, it wasn't a priority, which we're finding with a lot of these cold cases. Katrina can tell you her aunt's was one of those that they did not think it was a priority. When they decide that someone is not worthy of their attention, they don't give it. They don't do their job. I'd love to call out cops for great police work. And when we see that, we call it out. But when you do a really terrible job, guess what? We're going to tell you that too. Because this family has suffered. Her father died not knowing that his daughter had passed and that they had found her. So let's talk about the failures. And here's the first 48 hours, you guys. Number one, and this is for anyone that finds themselves in this situation, don't wait, report immediately. Number two, you call law enforcement with the key information. Now, we all know that if they try and tell you that you have to wait 24 to 72 hours, that's wrong. We did get a letter back for Siska's case there in South Dakota because I had emailed the chief of police, and I actually got an email back from the assistant chief. And he said that's wrong. And he actually sent me all of their list of rules and procedures. I have over 900 and some pages for Rapid City, South Dakota. So for, Assistant Chief Scott Sitt, I think is his last name. I apologize if I got that wrong. Assistant Chief Scott, thank you. And thank you for clearing that up. And then he knew, I told him I was working with, because he asked for the name of the family. I told him I didn't feel comfortable giving him the name of the family because I didn't know if the family would worry about retaliation. I did tell him I was working with an advocate, Siska. He emailed Siska immediately because she is known as an advocate. And I told her, I said, this might be an opportunity to work with him, because he's giving us the list of rules. She now has it. She can print it out so that any family that gets told this information, they can hand them the rules and the procedures. So that's important. Number three, share it on social media. Now, in 2006, we did not have the social media that we do have today, or it wasn't used, I don't think, as widely. But get out there and put it all over social media. Number four, trust your instincts. If something telling you that it's really wrong and something needs to be done, do it. Well, Chris, it is the law. I mean, they're supposed to take these cases right away. It's just they don't want to work, So what can you do when you have these people that just don't want to? And they do that with people that they don't feel are important or worthy. Trust me, if it was Susie, blonde and blue-eyed from, the suburb, haired cheerleader, they'd be all over it, sadly. But this case, that's not who it was. This was a First Nations young girl that was only 19. She was a mother. And so they decided to paint her with a brush and didn't care. So failure one, they delayed the response. It took weeks for a proper public appeal to be made after Marie went missing. In missing persons cases, especially the vulnerable population, which we all know First Nations and Natives are, every hour matters. Every day matters. Sleuthy, sweetheart, you're right. It is. It's a sad reality. Failure two, the cold case at Saskatoon police labeled Marie's case as cold. You heard me. They've already labeled it cold. They say they are no longer actively investigating her death, though the file remains open. Translation, unless new information falls into their lap, nothing is being done, which we know Katrina can attest to because she's having that issue in Dallas with her aunt's case. You know, they're not doing a thing. So unless she's the one that, you know, puts something in their lap, nothing. Crickets. And number three, lack of family. The communication with Marie's sisters. Suzanne gave the investigation a rating of 3 out of 10. That's not a great rating, is it, Doc?
No.
You get 3 stars out of 10.
Well, just think if you went to your favorite restaurant and they served you 30% of your meal.
Yeah.
I mean, and basically that's what it amounts to is 30% of the time they actually do their job.
Exactly. You're right. And LaDonna, I'm sure in Canada they have council people or mayors. Sadly, at this time, you know, you got to remember this was like 2006, 2007. So her sisters were still young. The next oldest would have been like 18. And so it was up to them because their father died soon after. Fowler, you're right. If we only did 30% of our
That's
job,
right.
we'd be looking for work. Oh, Dallas. Yeah, Dallas is on our list. I've got to get a map. I really do. Got to get a map because I'm going to start putting little pin dots of the areas that need help. That's what we're going to call it. They need help.
Yeah.
So she said that when they asked what the police could have done differently, she said they should have kept trying to find out what happened without giving up right away and just keeping our family involved, telling our family what's going on. That's the biggest part. Failure 4, no suspects, no answers. Nearly 19 years later, no suspects have ever been arrested. No one has been held accountable for taking this young mother from her children and her sisters, from everyone who loved her. This was a 19-year-old girl that everyone called the grandmother because she cared and had wisdom to share with others at such a young age. And this is a pattern we can't ignore because Marie is just one of the thousands of missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. Her case fits a horrifying pattern here because the Indigenous women go missing or are murdered and the investigations are inadequate, delayed, or just they abandon them. So when Suzanne was asked if she would support a national inquiry into the deaths and disappearances of Indigenous women, she said yes, without a hesitation. I would do it because there's other families and other women that went missing and their cases have not been solved or anything. You're right, Film Freak, we are. Chris, yes, because if you cut us, we all bleed red, guys. Nobody is above anybody else. We're all just part of the human race here. And that's what we have to realize. And we have to look out for each other. Marie deserved better. And let's be crystal clear. She really deserved better. She was a young mother with so much potential. She deserved better than a childhood split between foster homes. And that goes back to what happened to Indigenous children in Canada's child welfare system. Andre Bear is an attorney up there, and he exposes the disturbing practices that are targeting Indigenous children. Practice he personally experienced himself as a young person, and he now fights against as an advocate. He said that they actually have birth alerts when Indigenous mother is identified as struggling with, she might have an addiction, or she lives in poverty. So just living in poverty, she could be put on an alert from the child welfare, and they will issue a notice to the hospital. So as soon as the baby is born, it's immediately taken, removed from the mother before she even leaves the hospital. And this is still occurring today. Hey, lighting the way home. Thanks for joining us. So think about that. Even today, if you're poor, you could get on one of these alerts, and after you have your baby, they could take it because you're poor.
Yep. This is not something that happened, 100 years ago. This is
Yes.
now, right?
Yeah.
Today.
Yes. And they intentionally place them with non-Indigenous families. See, non-Indigenous families. So the children get removed from their family. They're purposely placed with white, non-Indigenous families. Why? Because they want to get rid of the culture. They're separating these children from their language, their traditions, and who they are. Their justification based on poverty. Children are removed not because of abuse, not because their families are poor or battling addiction, often linked to the trauma of residential school. They are taken because they're poor. Some of it could be addiction, but instead of trying to help the mother, they're just taking the children. And some of those addiction issues we know are linked to the trauma of the residential schools their parents and grandparents endured. Indigenous children are taken into custody at a significantly higher rate than other Canadian children. Hey, Simi Sharp, thanks for showing up to hang out with us tonight. This is a good one. I'm glad you're here. So this fosters a vicious industry, you guys, and it's involving removing the Indigenous children from their families. And this system has been in place for a long time. And these workers believe they have an entitlement to control over Indigenous children. And this isn't new. We had the live stream on the residential and boarding schools where their motto, and those schools up there went till 1996. Their motto, kill the Indian in the child, force assimilation, even through abuse. And that's what they did. They also had what they called the 60 Scoop, which eventually we'll do a live stream on that, which was the mass removal of Indigenous children to non-Indigenous homes. And then today's foster care system, same goal, just a different method. So they're still separating these children from their families and cultures. And what happens is when these kids grow up in these homes where they're taken away from their culture, eventually they want to find their culture. And they never feel like they belong in either. And sometimes it's traumatic what happens to them because you're just producing more children that might end up with addiction issues because they don't have an identity. Andre's experience himself, he was taken from his mother twice as a young child and placed with white family. He said he remembered feeling like he was with strangers. His mother herself was a residential school survivor, dealing with the trauma-induced alcoholism and had to fight to get her children back. So the bottom line is Canada is taking Indigenous children at birth and throughout childhood, placing them with non-Indigenous families and continuing the same cultural genocide. that residential schools started, all under the guise of child protection. So Marie deserved better than struggling. You know, she did have some trouble in her late teens with some alcohol, and but she was going back to school, and that trauma, it doesn't have anything to do with who she was. She was the grandmother of her friends. She was the one that had wisdom to give. She had seen some things and been through some things, and so she was helping others. She deserved to watch her children grow up because they're adults now. She deserved to finish high school and become the youth care worker she dreamed of being. She deserved to continue mentoring at-risk youth, organizing days of mourning. She deserved a vigorous, immediate, thorough investigation when she went missing. She deserved for the police not to give up. And her family, Brooklyn and Della, her daughters, Leslie, Suzanne, Naomi, her grandfather, her aunts and uncles, they deserve answers. She was loved, deeply loved. And her sisters carry that memory. And they say Marie's death hurts every day, nearly 2 decades later. Think about it. It doesn't get easier. It breaks your heart. And that outreach worker, Sue, said she remembered her as such a good kid. And she said she had such plans. She was the grandmother who protected all those other girls. And her daughters lost their mother when they were just babies. So what trauma do they have? Marie was loved and valued and mattered. So there was a call for justice in 2023, 17 years after Marie's murder in Saskatoon. The police did renew their request for public assistance. They stated that investigators believe members of the public may have information that could help solve the case.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no duh.
Think?
We're dealing here with a brain trust, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Someone knows something. Someone always does. So if anybody has information on the murder of Marie Lynn, it's Lasas.
Lasas.
Lasas. Thank you, Doc. Please contact the Saskatoon Police Service at 306-975-8300 or the police service at saskatoon.ca email. You can also do the Crime Stoppers Anonymous tip at 100-222-8477. And let's hope someone does. I don't know by the time they found Marie if they were able to, hey, Capri Law, good to see you, honey. If they were able to get any DNA, if they saved any DNA. Sadly, a lot of times, they will have someone cremated and then there's no getting that kind of information. So let's hope for Marie's sake that they have something that they can go ahead and maybe try some DNA genealogy. We know how well that works. I don't know how well Canada is at using it. I need to research that because we know here in the States, they're solving cold cases. Sometimes the predators are dead and passed on, but sometimes they get these old geezers and yay, because at least there's a little bit of justice. And Marie and her family deserve some. And this case, I tried to see if anybody had done her case on YouTube. Nobody had. So there was limited information. I had reached out to a couple of cousins that I found at the last moment, but I hadn't heard back. So, I got what information I could so we could at least get her name out there, get her story, because she was a beautiful person that deserved to be here with us because, she had so much potential. Yeah, that's true, Katrina. So let's go over a few missing people. This is Lee Lynn
Leolyn Sherbeck.
Thank you, dear. You can all thank Doc. He keeps me straight here. She's 14 years old, you guys. She disappeared September 22nd, 2025 from Pennington County, South Carolina. She has brown eyes, brown hair. She's 5'4", 125 pounds. She was last seen wearing a black hooded sweatshirt, black ripped jeans, and white Nike shoes. She does have tattoos on her hand, but they didn't give me any description of what they were. So contact the Pennington County Sheriff's Department, 605-394-4131 if anybody has any information. And let's put the call out there to anyone that does the missing posters. If we know what tribe someone's affiliated with, let's put that on there because I just think it's proper. That's my opinion. Others might disagree, but hey. This is Elaine Lynn Smallcannon. She disappeared in December 15th of 2015. It's an older case. She was 20 when she disappeared, so she'd be 30 now. She disappeared from Page, Arizona. She's Navajo. She's 5'1", 5'2". She weighed 165 pounds. She had black hair, brown eyes. Her ears were pierced. She had a 1/4-inch scar on her upper left foot. She had a black sweater, a black t-shirt, black jeans, and black shoes. She had, Smallcannon was last seen by her sister in Page, Arizona on December 15th of 2015. She was with 3 other people at the time of her disappearance, and they may have gone to the Black Mesa area or to Phoenix, Arizona, or to Caibedo, Arizona, about 37 miles from Page. There are very few details of this case. The Page Police Department, 928-645-2461, case number 16-04973. The tip line is 1-800-551-3030. She has a NamUs number. M is Michael, P is in Paul, 57528. I think I need to get someone, I'm going to reach out to someone to talk about the NamUs number and how you can get your family member a NamUs number, because I think that's important. Reach out to Gail and Locks of Reunification. Okay, Chris, I will check that out. Next, this is Isabella Genia. She's 13, you guys, and she disappeared from Roosevelt County, Montana, on September 29th. She has brown hair, brown eyes. She's 5'6", 170 pounds, and the Roosevelt County Sheriff said that she also goes by Genia Madison, Madison, or Madison, Madisyn, or just Madison Isabella. So if you have information, contact the law enforcement, the Montana Missing Persons Clearinghouse at 406-444-2800. 14 years old. Ugh. Okay. Thanks, Katrina. That would be helpful. James Rail? Is that how you'd pronounce that one, Doc?
Yeah, I would think so.
He's 22. He's almost been missing a year, you guys. He disappeared November 28th of 2024 from Alamogordo, New Mexico. He is Spanish and Native American, which Spanish is Native American. I don't know why they put that, but anywho, brown eyes, black hair, 5'3", 130 pounds. He was last seen wearing a light blue Levi's, a gray t-shirt, black sneakers, and a black hat. He was leaving on Thanksgiving from Alamogordo, New Mexico, headed to Albuquerque, and he hasn't been seen since. He was driving his light blue 2012 Honda Accord with a New Mexico license plate. B as in boy, Y as in yellow, N as in Nancy, F as in Frank, 22. If anyone has any information on James, contact the New Mexico State Police at 575-437-1313. The case number is 2503192. James needs to be found. Jasmine Amber. What's that one, Doc?
Labukan?
Labukan? Okay.
Labukan?
It's from Canada, so it probably has a French twist to it. Hey, Farquhar. Good to see ya. She was 23 when she disappeared. She would be 25 now because she disappeared August 26th of 2023 from Grand Prairie, Alberta, Canada. Her eyes are brown. She had shoulder-length brown hair, 5'7", 154 pounds. Tattoos of initials are on her right hand and scars from self-harm on the left forearm. She was last seen in the area of 101 Avenue and 97A Street. Could possibly be in or headed to British Columbia. She does have a medical condition, they said, that can cause confusion and disorientation. So please, if anybody sees her, Grand Prairie RCMP at 780-830-5700. Case number 2023-127-2271 or Crime Stoppers 1-800-222-8477. You know, sometimes people think, well, why are we even talking about a case from 2006? Because justice doesn't have an expiration date, you guys. Marie's family still doesn't have answers. Her killers are still out there, and they're unpunished. Marie Lynn represents so many Indigenous women whose cases have been ignored, minimized, or forgotten by the system that should protect everyone equally. This isn't about one young woman from Saskatoon. This is about a pattern of justice that continues to this day. This is about demanding better, demanding that every missing person, regardless of their race or their background, receives the full force of investigative resources. This is about saying their names, telling their stories, refusing to let them be forgotten. We're not going to forget Marie. She was 19 years old. She was a mother, a sister, a mentor, an activist, and a dreamer. She was the Kokum, the grandmother who protected everyone around her. And at 19, can you imagine what she would have gone on to do if someone had not taken her life so callously? I mean, look at what she was getting her GED. She was going to do things. But someone decided she wasn't worth it. And that's wrong. And we're not going to stop. So remember, you guys, every killer depends on your silence. Please don't give it to them. If you know something, speak up, because that wasn't a mannequin. It never is. Remember, someone knows something. Someone always does. Our hashtag and motto is silence is betrayal. If anyone has a story that requires our attention, contact us with our email at trialjunkiesunited@gmail.com. Oh, okay, Katrina. I'd love to talk to your criminologist journalist friend. Katrina has some good connections. And that's another thing. Maybe tomorrow, I'll get with Katrina after the show. Maybe we'll set up an event in our Discord server and just talk about her aunt's case. Anyone that wants to come in and talk, we'll see what her schedule is. Because I think it's important. We need to keep talking about this case, helping her put pieces together. Yep, Katrina's coming out with a book. So you all get ready, because we're all going to have to buy one. Trust me, I want my copy. Because this is important. These stories need to be told. We know Katrina's aunt was not Native or Indigenous, but she was what the police in Dallas decided not worthy because she wasn't rich. She wasn't known. You know, we got to stop marginalizing people due to either monetary or maybe if they're having a rough time in their life or due to their race or their nationality. We're all part of the human race. If we don't look out for each other, nobody else is going to do it. And I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I told everybody, try and push yourself to go meet a neighbor. Doc and I did. We got new neighbors right across the street. So we went out and went to see them and we met them, and they're a lovely couple. In fact,
They just got married.
Tuesday they got married, so I got to see the bride leaving her house. So pretty. Can't wait to go chat with her. But it's important, you guys. Try and reach out to a neighbor. Just even, saying hi. Get their name. Let's go back to being neighbors again. Because I think this is important. I think it's important that we start making human connections. We're doing it here with our Discord server and our community, and we are. Sleuthy sweetheart, you have special circumstances. She has neighbors that are awful, and I know the story. So her one neighbors are just not nice people and are harassing her. So maybe find a neighbor on the other side or across the street or 2 doors down. They don't have to be right next door.
Or 10 doors down, or something.
I told you need a bigger dog. Your little I can't even think what kind of pup you have. That thing's not going to scare anybody. We need to get you like a Rottweiler or a Malinois that can jump the fence and eat them. No, I don't want to do that. Whoops, I didn't mean that. But they have been harassing poor Sleuthy, and that's not right.
Yeah, I'll have to cut that part out.
No, you won't. Sometimes it's those. No, it's not a Chihuahua. It's one of those little wiener dogs. And all of a sudden, I can't think. A dachshund.
Dachshund.
I think it's a dachshund, right, Sleuthy? I think you have dachshunds. And that's not going to scare anybody. I mean, yeah, they can bark, but come on. You need something big, that's going to scare them. But how's everybody feeling tonight? I know this was, we feel bad for Marie and her family, but she's got 2 weenie dogs and a pug. Yeah. That's not really a ferocious group. Yeah, I hear you, Pammy. Well, the sad thing is she's got cameras in her backyard, and those people still try and mess with her look over her fence to do stuff in their yard. It's just, those people are crazy.
It's a house full of barking animals. If strangers come around, that helps.
Yeah, they do that, and that's awesome. Because trust me, if someone comes to our door, we have 4 cats. They all run. My brave cat is gone, unfortunately. So the ones we have now, none of them are brave. Yeah, that's sad. Oh, I'm sorry, Fowla. You only got bitten by one. Well, sometimes the little ones are the ones that are mean. She'll run from a Chihuahua. I'm sorry, Fowla. I shouldn't laugh, because getting bit is not fun. And I don't care the size of the dog. It's the bite that counts. She's the beast, and Taco, my old blind pug.
Doesn't.
Well, Katrina, kids can count. It depends on, how sharp their little teeth are. And some neighbors can be scared of kids. I think my neighbors probably worry more because I really don't leave the house, and I do have cameras, because I'm just waiting for, the cops to show up one day and say, do you know if your neighbor carried something out of their house at this time? And I go, yep, here, you want the film? I'm ready. I'm ready to say, yep, I saw the whole thing. True Crime Talk with Frank Meister. Hey, good evening. Glad you jumped in to say howdy. Yeah, kids can be vicious, I tell you. Well, down here in Texas, you have to be careful, because sadly, we had a little boy that was 11, and I think they were doing one of those TikTok things where they knock on the door and run, and the owner shot the little boy in the back. So, yeah, that breaks my heart, you know. Because yes, the children were being a little obnoxious, but still, you don't shoot a kid for ringing your doorbell and running. People,
Well,
you know.
you don't shoot anybody, for that. I mean, good grief.
Yeah, I don't know how many times on Next Door Neighbor you get these pictures from people that they will put a picture of someone at their door and go, "Does anyone know who this is?" It's like, well, you have a Ring camera. Did you ask them what they wanted? Maybe they were coming to tell you that they saw somebody at your house, or that there's a bad person in the not everybody's out to get you. It could be innocent. You don't have to open your door. I'm not telling people to do that because, yeah, there are dangerous people out there. But come on, if you have a Ring doorbell, you can at least go ahead and say, "Hey, neighbor, what can I help you with?" But people are scared to open the door. Yeah, the ding dong ditch. Yep. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, that little boy got killed over it. So, yeah, that it didn't work out well because here in Texas, Sleuthy, you know that people are armed. And right now people are scared of everything. So I would be warning my children, don't be knocking on people's door and running. You know? It just and I think Sleuthy is by my side. Okay. Who's Lucy? Who's Lucille? Spig. Lazy River, you got a cat too. I know that. So you're in the same boat I am. Cats, they're lovely, but they don't attack. Now, Ozzy, when I had Ozzy Osbourne, he probably would attack someone. That was my good cat, but he's gone.
Really? I thought he would have run under the bed.
No, he was the one that didn't run.
Okay.
Oh, Lazy River, yeah. Yeah, this story is going to touch a lot of people because Marie had some terrible times, and it just, her family, your heart breaks for them. Yeah. YouTube mom's kid going to it. And that does happen. Sometimes kids do go to other doors if something's happened. And you do hear of those cases where something terrible has happened and they go to the neighbors to help. And if someone's not answering or acting all weird, now, hey, if some kid's knocking at your door at 2 a.m, yeah. But you have a Ring camera because you're putting it on Next Door Neighbor. The least you could do is say, "Hey, Junior, what do you want?" I'm not saying you have to go down there and open the door.
Worst comes to worst, you could just tell them, "Oh, let me dial the police, and they can help you with that."
Yeah, and that now someone did do that, and they said the person disappeared from the door. That does clear up if someone's up to no good.
Well,
Oh wow, picking up. Oh, I remember that case, Katrina. Yeah, he was picking up his younger siblings, and he was on the wrong street, and that older gentleman just deleted him. Or well, no, he made it through, but he shot him. Yeah. Well, and people are, and come on, Pammy, here in Texas, because I know you're a Texas girl too, and the people down here, they just love their guns, their pew-pews, and they are ready to use them. Yeah, they don't think, they're just acting. Well, I'm not going to disagree with you on that, Frank Meister. Yeah, we got to be smart. Well, and I think a lot of it is because we aren't neighbors anymore. People don't know their neighbors.
Somebody shows up at your door, and they might be a neighbor from 3 doors down. You don't know.
Yeah. Because see, that was one thing when we lived in the Midwest. Um, we used to drop in on our friends all the time. We never called. We just dropped in. They dropped into our place. It was no big deal. Other areas I've lived in, people don't do that. So it's really, it's weird to watch, and see how people are reacting. But we just need to get back to knowing our neighbors. I mean, I'm not saying you have to be bestest friends, but knowing people's name in case of an emergency, maybe sharing a phone number in case of an emergency, different things like that we can do so that we're there to help, and that's the point. New bill. I'm sorry, Irish Amy. Well, if anyone's mean to you, you tell me and Fala, we'll come get them. You know that. We won't let them be mean to you. Okay. Even if I don't like them. I understand some neighbors can be a pain. I know when we first moved to here to our neighborhood in Texas, one of the neighbors, they were still at the time, once a year would have a like a barbecue. And so we went the first year. And one of the neighbors we just met, he was like, well, don't come to my house because I have a gun and I'm not afraid to use it. It was like, okay, which house do you live in? Okay. And yeah, I mean, I had him pointed out. So I didn't want to ever make the mistake that I was going to, accidentally knock on his door. Um, yeah, that's true. Eating Tide Pods. Yeah. Hey, I don't know what's up with you guys. If anything is on TikTok, don't follow it and think it's absolute gospel. It's crazy, people. I mean, all these people, I don't know if I'm sure y'all heard about the people that decided it was the rapture this week and they quit their jobs, gave away all their money, burned their money, and now they're all crying. And it's just like, because somebody on TikTok was telling them it was the rapture. It's like, people, TikTok is not a source. People,
that goes for social media in general. I mean,
yeah,
you need to be careful with all of it.
Yeah, check your facts.
Yeah.
I try and do a lot of research. Yeah, Sleuthy Sweetheart, get on there and just look that up and you'll see people crying and having a fit. Yeah, Frank Meister. Hey, we did a whole stream on the AI. I even got a video with a song. So check it out. Because it was a crime case of kids that have deleted themselves due to talking to AI. And we had a therapist, who was in here tonight. She was my guest. She might not be your therapist, but she's the therapist we know. And we chatted about that. Yeah. Hey, Katrina, that's true. Plain and simple, if you want to terrorize your children, put them in a room, hand them a rotary phone, a regular clock with hands, a map, and lock them in and see how long it takes for them to come out. You might have a week off. I'm just saying. Because kids don't, and make sure your directions are in cursive writing, okay? So that they have to learn these things. That's just like, kids don't even know what countries are what. Some of these people get on YouTube and will say stuff like, well, Hawaii is not part of the United States. This girl literally said, because what other state welcomes you with flowers around your neck? LA. And it's like, nobody, but that doesn't mean it's not part of the United States. Oh, a cordless phone where it has to be charged. Yeah, that could be funny. Build bridges. Okay, Pal is a therapist, tells us to build bridges. Get the bridge making material out, guys. We're gonna start building some bridges. Oh yeah, dial up. Oh, that would be great. Tell them we're going back. Oh, what was the dial up when it first started, Doc?
What do you mean? AOL?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Tell them we're all going back to AOL.
I remember in high school when it's kind of dating myself, but in high school, well, this would have been middle school, but they had computers, and you were part of an elite group if you got to go to student center and mess around with the computer that they had that was hooked up to the internet, and it had the phone handset that you had to put down inside the cups. That it was so yeah, it hasn't always been fiber network anymore. I mean,
Next he's going to tell us, and then Moses came down with the tablets.
Yeah, well, it wasn't too long before that.
Oh, Doc. He's so silly. Oh, that's funny though. Well, I remember that first computer you got that was huge, and it was so slow.
Oh,
That was fun. Oh. Yes, you're right, Katrina. You wonder what part of your brain is being used now that we don't have to remember people's phone numbers. Because trust me, Doc used to have everybody's phone numbers memorized. He was great with numbers.
now it's like what's Z's number? Number 2.
I don't know how many times I've been filling out a form and I'll ask, what's your phone number again?
Yeah.
Or I get my phone and look up his number. But he laughs at me because I actually have my passwords in a book that I write my passwords to different apps and stuff. But whenever he goes, what's your password? He goes, where's your book? I need one of your passwords.
Well,
like,
the emphasis is on one of your passwords.
Yeah, you
Not
put yours
mine.
on the computer, but if your computer ever croaks or something, we can't have access to it. We'll have access to mine.
I just have to find another computer. And I can
Pammy's
plug
good
it
with
in.
numbers too, Doc. Yep, Sleuthy and Katrina. Yep, I know. I'm learning my number because since I've started the YouTube channel, I've been calling people all over. I mean, getting to talk to that professor over in Australia on Tuesday was awesome, you guys. That was an experience, and I had a great time. And I'm going to reach out to an attorney up in Canada who I think you guys will adore. I'm hoping I can get him to come on. So, yeah, I have some things in the work. I'm still trying to get with Pammy's daughter, Whitney. She's so busy. I'm so busy. It's just like we pass each other. Because my days off, really, Monday is my day off. I work, and I'm still working on Monday, just not as hard. I'll be honest with you. I do a lot more playing games on my phone, but Monday's really my day to be brain dead. So it's just, that's the way it is, because we have a live stream on Sunday and we have Thursday. And so it's just, I have a shorter time between the Thursday and the Sunday stream. And then I have a lot longer to work on Thursday. So it just, Mondays, forget it. I'm useless. Doc knows it. It's like, my brain doesn't work, but I've created some new songs. I still got to do some videos, to little video things to them. I'm still not good at the videos. I'm still trying to learn how to do something different with the videos beside pictures. One day I'll get there, Unfortunately, I don't have a secretary. I told Doc today, I said, we could really use a secretary. Katrina, yes, spelling bad words upside down with a calculator.
I remember
Yeah.
those days.
Yeah. Well, think of all the schools that have banned the use of cell phones in the classroom. I mean, those poor kids are probably sitting there counting on their fingers and taking their shoes off and counting with their toes. Because how many of them use their phones? You know? Something to think about. Oh, boy. I know. Whitney is awesome. And her and we'll get together. I promise. She is on top of my list. Oh, your kids got banned phone. Mm-hmm. I saw one comedian. He said, my kids will be showing up with their phones. He says, I'm sorry, because if I need to get a hold of my kid, I'm getting a hold of my kid. I thought, let me know how that works for you. I play June's Journey. That's my game. I'm on it. In fact, I have a team that I'm on. So that's why I wake up no matter what time I go to bed. Like yesterday, I went to bed at 4:30 in the morning. I'm up at 8 to play with my team. Then I'll fall back asleep. Sometimes. Trying never to get into cars with strangers. Now we have apps doing that. I know. That is insane.
Yep.
I saw this one short video, and it was two native Indigenous people, and the guy was talking to his uncle, and he said, I don't know. He says, well, what time did you have to be home? And he says, well, his uncle goes, we'd have to be home, before dark. Well, when was that? Well, we just knew when we had to be in the house. He says, didn't you ever worried about getting kidnapped? He says, no, we were tougher than you. Oh, I don't believe that. He says, yeah. He says, why don't you come out to my van and I'll show you? And he goes, why? He goes, I have candy. Okay. Proving the point that it's that easy these days. I have candy. Yeah, I'll go get in your van. I thought that was really funny.
Well, I mean, that works so many times, you know. So,
but he was talking to his adult nephew. That was what was so funny. It was. I almost got this T-shirt. It said something about I have to see the candy before I get in the van. So it's
Katrina. Her parents always said they'd bring her back.
I remember the time because my parents didn't fight a whole lot. My mom used to like a good fight once in a while, but my dad always ran. He was 6'3" and she was 5'1.5", and so he'd always run. She'd call him names, but he'd go out and either mow the yard or play in the garage. And so one day I was like, well, what would happen if you guys divorced? She says, oh, I told your father he's taking all you kids. I'm not taking you. She says, so you don't have to worry because he's never leaving. Thanks, Mom. Now we know. That's why Dad stayed. He was afraid you would leave the kids with him. No, he wouldn't have left her. He adored her, but it was funny. It made all of us kids think, though. It's like, man, she says, your father ain't going nowhere because he ain't going to be responsible for y'all. Oh, well, let's wind up for tonight. It was fun to sit and chat for a while, and I'm so thankful so many of you came and spent some time with us. We know your time is valuable, and for you to share some with us is awesome. But these issues, they need our attention, you guys, and we have to listen and share this information when we get it. So if you appreciate what we do, hey, you can buy us a coffee if you want. But if you're having financial troubles and the times right now are tough, please don't. I don't want anyone with limited funds to do something. Remember, you can help us by watching, sharing, subscribing, hitting that little button, and the algorithms behind the scenes, whether you're on the live stream with us or on the rewatch crew, it helps. I don't know what mumbo jumbo the algorithms do, but it helps. Share the stories too. Let other people know that, hey, this is a channel you should hang out, come to a live stream. We try to have fun. But until next time, you guys, stay informed, stay compassionate, pursue justice. We love you all, and we'll see you Sunday for TJ. Can't talk all of a sudden. TJU's Sunday edition. So, ciao, and we love you guys. Music, maestro.
Undresses hanging in the wind tonight. Silent witnesses to stories untold. Sisters, mothers, daughters out of sight. Their voices echo, brave and bold. Every face upon the missing wall has a name, a dream, a beating heart. We won't let their memory fall. Each one precious from the start. They matter, every single soul. They matter, we won't let go. Stand up, speak out, don't turn away. Search for justice every day. They matter, and we'll never stop the fight. They matter, every single soul. They matter, we won't let go. Stand up, speak out, don't turn away. Search for justice every day. They matter, and we'll never stop the fight. Indigenous people, strong and free. Women, men, and children too. Your lives have meaning, you belong. We hear your voices call. All lives matter in this sacred space. Every soul within our human race. True seekers, junkies, unite. We are family, we'll make this right. We will stand up and join the fight. They matter, every single soul. They matter, we won't let go. Stand together, such as one, until every case is done. They matter, and love will light the way. Red dresses dancing in the light, reminding us to never give up. Fight. We all matter, we all matter, we all matter. One human family, standing together. Red dresses dancing in the light, reminding us to never give up the fight.